Well, Linda, it's another Friday.
It's a Friday.
It's Friday. It's Facebook Friday. Dr. Gordon and Linda coming at you from Southeastern Fertility here in Knoxville, Tennessee. A little bit early today.
This is a
Facebook Friday brunch edition.
Yes.
As opposed to lunch edition, right? Brunch, right?
Yeah.
Breakfast and lunch. Brunch.
Well,
I got you Linner. Instead of brunch, you're having Linner. So, absolutely all right. So last week we were out of town, and I know that y'all did not have Facebook Friday. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, you can. I'm sure find that. I know it's hard. I mean, we plan these weeks ahead. I mean, the schedule's mapped out. I mean, Mark has the script. We go over the special effects that we're going to include for each one. It's incredible. It's
amazing the amount of time.
It really is. I mean, you just can't even believe the amount of time and effort.
You're gonna get scared by lying too.
Well, so today, and actually, I'm not going to be here next week either because we're going on a little trip. So I thought I'd talk a little about baggage, right? Because I've been packing, right?
Yeah.
Packing, right? So sometimes it's hard when patients come in that have been elsewhere. They're bringing some baggage in terms of their previous experiences, right? And it's hard because I can't undo that.
Right.
I wish I could. I wish I could go back the clock or say, I'm sorry I had that experience or this was an issue and all that. And that was actually a couple that we saw. It was Kendra and Eric, who came up from Mississippi, and they had come in having been through sort of the ringer in terms of different clinics that they had reached out to and so many things. And actually, Kendra then had me on her podcast this last month.
It was about a month ago.
It launched in January. I think Mark actually put a link to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now my brother used to tell me I have a face for radio. So, and I'm not sure that's true, but I'm not sure I even have a voice for radio because I don't usually like listening to my voice. Do you like listening to your voice?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you, right?
It doesn't.
It's like singing in the shower. How can I sound so good in the shower, and then everywhere else you sound terrible? Like, why is that?
It's the acoustics.
It's something, right? It's delusional or something. It's something, that's for sure. And I usually don't like the way that I sound, and I don't know what I think I'm going to sound like, but I usually don't like listening to myself. Yeah,
I get that.
You get that? So, yeah. So in this, I happened to listen to that podcast just because I had nothing else to do. No, I mean, I actually did. But I just wanted to see. I was just curious, and I kind of ginned up my courage to actually listen because I was afraid I might just sound idiotic or my voice would be tinny and weak. I mean, Mark's got a good voice because Mark was in the media, right?
Yes,
Mark was actually the weekend anchor, and Mark has a great voice for and not just for radio. He's a good voice for television too. But Dr. Gordon maybe not so much. But I did listen to this one, and actually I thought I came across okay. Did not sound like a valley girl. Like, or, you know, as much as I usually do.
Okay.
So it was good. So I enjoyed listening to that podcast. I hope you also enjoyed it. But they were talking about just sort of some of the baggage they brought because they had gone to other places and were told, no, that's crazy. What are you even talking about? Mini IVF? What is that? That doesn't exist. That's not a thing. And you sort of start to wonder, what, am I crazy? Wait, you're crazy. I'm just saying that when you get pushback like that, like, well, I thought that's a thing, and they were told, no, it's not even a thing. And Kendra said, well, I don't understand why I'm the one educating them. I mean, they should know about it. Now, you could say, well, we don't do it that way. This is the way we do it. And we talked in a podcast about that baggage of patients coming saying, I have limits. I mean, I'm okay with the IVF, but I want to put limits on it. Or I'm not okay with the IVF. What else can we do? Is there something else we can do? And for some couples that come to see us through the ANDC, and we're standing in front of this beautiful ANDC placard that Mark coordinated the creation of, some of them never will have pursued IVF. They got to that point and they said, this is just not for us.
Right.
Some of them didn't even pursue fertility treatment. They just said, I don't know why we don't get pregnant. Apparently it's not meant to be. We want to pursue this because they truly look upon it as adoption, saying, well, we're just going to adopt if we can't get pregnant. And that's interesting because, of course, that's a different perspective as opposed to the patient who's been through sort of the ringer and done all these things. Somebody who says, I just feel that we're not called to pursue that. If this is, so we've prayed about this, and sometimes the answer to prayer is no, apparently, and therefore we're going to take a different path. But I think it's interesting as you talk to patients about that baggage they bring in, saying, and to give them sort of the ability to voice that. And a lot of the phone calls that I do, a lot of the telemedicine visits for the docs that we've done with patients from all over the country, are that sort of conversation. And even if they say, well, you guys sound great, I love watching Linda, they always love watching Linda.
They-
I didn't say anything about me.
She's a
Oh,
celebrity.
We love Linda. We love Linda.
They
We
do.
love watching. I feel like we know Linda. We want to come and be Linda's patient, not Dr. Gordon's patient. We want to be Linda's patient. So, and they just want to just talk about it. Even if they say, well, it's just too far, we've got obligations here, we can't travel that far to undergo treatment in Tennessee. I guess it's fine. But they do appreciate at least talking about that and thinking through it and not feeling that those questions or those concerns or those opinions are somehow going to be just slapped down and being told, well, that's just stupid. I mean, why do you even think that way?
Right.
So
it gives them a good voice, a good way to bounce things off of someone that's not going to push them, make them feel like they're stupid.
right, or judge for that, right?
Or judge.
Yeah, judge for that. Say, well, just get on board, just do it. And sometimes I think that's a reaction when maybe you're not comfortable having that discussion. You're not willing to delve into it. Well, we think of those embryos are our children. You say, well, no, they're not. It's like, well, when do they become children then? I mean, they start out at this point, and then they progress along, and some stop progressing, but they all started at that point.
Right.
So the patient says, that's how I envision these embryos. You say, well, that's ridiculous. Well, of course that's what they are, right? How can you say that they're not that? That is what they are. Now, I mean, that raises ethical issues. That raises occasionally concerns about legal issues. As embryos are viewed as property. And all these things are important discussions to have, but you shouldn't shut down the discussion by just sort of denigrating somebody's opinions. You say those are difficult decisions. Those are very difficult decisions, and not everybody thinks about it the same way. So I don't know. I think it's just tough when you come with the baggage. And
And I think it's very important that people think about things, pray about things, and do what feels like it's right to them.
Right.
Regardless of what doctors or nurses are saying.
Right. Otherwise, you find yourself and you say, I don't know how we got to this point. We didn't anticipate being here.
Right.
And I think that's important as well. So, yeah, so I think that's, again, it's all about the baggage. As we go home now, start packing.
Speaking of baggage, I think he's got a big suitcase that I just might fit into.
That's right. I'm thinking about that. And I know it's the weight. It's only 80-pound weight limit on Delta. I'm no problems, Linda. I can see you fitting in there, no sweat.
Don't be mean.
Well, I didn't say. I mean, you just turn sideways.
I am not turning sideways.
That's right. All right, that's fine. All right. Well, in any case, I will be watching Facebook Friday to see if there's one next week.
Oh, there will be.
There will
Okay. So I'll hold the studio audience of 6 to account for you guys actually doing something. It doesn't have to be as well thought out and planned out as we here on a weekly basis are doing.
It's going to be good.
Story, no storyboards. No. It's okay if you don't have a script. All right. Yeah.
Pyrotechnics.
Unscripted. Ooh. All right. Well, in case that's right. Anyway, so thank you for joining us on this pre-recorded version of Facebook Friday, and hope you have a good dinner since you missed brunch. Okay. All right. It's Dr. Gordon and Linda saying
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.